So you are aware that like you're the final boss when it comes to OF, right?
Is that what they say?
Yeah.
Is that what they call it?
Mm-hmm. And I know you saw the clip of Julia making $400,000 a month, so I just need to know, like, how much are you making a month?
I don't know if I don't really want to hurt your feelings. I just don't.
Hurt my feelings? What do you mean?
I don't want to say.
You don't have to say, just show me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I won't break your phone. I actually like kind of tearing up. $4 million? $4 million in a month?
Yeah.
400,000 the last 7 days, in case you were not even, it's more than that.
Thanks.
This, I can't even be mad at you. Like, this is y'all's fault. Like, how do y'all men even have that amount of money? You have wives, children, baby mamas, bills. Women, if you're seeing this, go through your man's phone. Because $4 million a month, I promise you, you will find that link in his search history. Go to private. Go to the private tab. It's right there. Sophie Rain, Spider-Man video, bot. Sick, you weird. It's weird, because she also looks 14. So, get your bag, I guess.
Thanks.
$4 million. Disgusting.
What type of bullshit is this? OnlyFriends star Sophie Rain just revealed who her top spender was, and he spent almost $5 million. His name is Charlie. He spent $84 in subscriptions, over $250,000 in messages, and $4.4 million in tips. Charlie, whoever you are, bro, please answer me this question. What could you have possibly gained from almost spending $5 million? There is no way you're actually down this bad with this much amount of money. Are you serious right now? I need you to do a face reveal, bro. We have to find out who this guy is. And the crazy thing is, I know exactly what you look like. I don't even need to see a face reveal. Do you think she's gonna marry you or something? Do you think she's actually gonna give you a shot? Please inform me. What do you benefit from this?
Think that everyone should consider. Number one, being in an industry that she's in has real lasting detrimental effects on real human intimacy. Yes, you might call it empowering because she's making an insane amount of money and being able to do whatever she wants with it, and that in itself can be seen as a form of empowerment, but the effects that that has on real life people and real relationships is something I don't think you could really put a price tag on. There is literally science backing up the way literally damages real human intimacy and decreases the attraction that partners have towards one another. Consuming illicit content is literally one of the easiest ways to spike a huge amount of dopamine into your brain. And as humans, we chase pleasure, and that's what we're going to keep doing because it feels good. And if it feels good, we're going to keep doing it. It's an addictive cycle. And it's a use it or lose it brain. Even if you're not consuming it at that point in time, your brain is probably actively thinking about it, and that strengthens neural pathways in your brain. Now, circling back to the topic of her making so much money and everything like that, everyone's like, oh my gosh, maybe I'll just do it for 1 million and I'll buy a house and I'll be happy forever. The next thing I'm going to say is nothing to do with the way people perceive you, but consider the fact that most people in the industry that she's in, I don't mean OF, I mean the general industry, are trafficked into it. The fact that about 2% of the US population of young women have an OnlyFans account. The fact that women are actively opting into selling their bodies. And the fact that there's no laws against it is literally the patriarchy failing us once again. We are providing services to men when we opt into these industries. These are not things that empower women. No, these are things that decrease your real human intimacy. Like I just said, these are things that have real detrimental effects on real life women as well. It might be empowering to that one person, but even then, are they fearing their safety? Are they worried about the perception that others have on them? What career path do they have after this? And yes, maybe they have so much money that they don't even have to worry about their career anymore. But again, going back to the first point, what kind of lasting harmful effects do the services they provide have on real life women? I'm sure most people going into it just need a quick buck. I'm sure most people going into it just need a path to get out of the poverty or pain that they're in. And I'm sure that these are not things that they have considered, which is why I'm making this video, because I am begging you to consider these things if you are someone who's contemplating to enter something like this. And again, this is not me trying to shame anybody who is in that industry, but there have been multiple people who have exited this industry and talked about how much they regret being in it, how real the lasting effects of it is, and how it has ruined them.
Sophie, nice to meet you. You just lost a tooth. How's that? Jonah ate it. What do you want to be when you grow up?
A doctor and an astronaut.
What's your name?
Sophie.
So.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. So I don't know if you guys heard about the OnlyFans creator Sophie Rain. She made $43 million this year, and a lot of people are giving very telling reactions to it. Now, if you know anything about this channel, it supports sex workers of all ranks in the hierarchy. So whether you're, a streetwalker or the Sophie Rains of the sex worker world, who she also claims to be a virgin as well, which I find to be just a very interesting paradox. If you watch any of my older videos, you'll know that I like to the same way like Exoticals United likes to study like sociology and psychology, I like to do the same thing when it comes to like the genders, and sex work is one of the most interesting ways to do that because it's a time where people like aren't performing and you can see people for who they really are. And with the rise of 304 TikTok and I noticed the girls on TikTok, they call the girls that aren't sex workers squares or something. So I'm just going to use that terminology. The squares versus the 304s, there's a lot going on. And I noticed like with the Sophie Rain thing, there's a lot of this conversation of, oh, well, don't think that you're going to make as much as she makes. If you start at OnlyFans, you're probably only going to make $50 a month and you're going to be, a whore forever. Ha ha. Like, it's almost like, instead of saying, wow, she's a virgin that made almost $50 million on OnlyFans, that's interesting. I'm happy for her. I'm glad she was able to stay safe and she has a support system and a team that helps her be able to do that. But no, it's, oh, well, she looks 14 and you guys shouldn't be buying from her. Why did all those men send her that much money? They could have just paid half of that and got what they really wanted, when what they really wanted is not sex. The moment you actually have sex with a guy, he hates you. All women have experienced that. Unless there's something else keeping him there, men hate women they have sex with. They just do. So the thought of something unattainable and, inaccessible, like a girl on the internet, is actually more appealing than the woman that's right next to you that you eat dinner with every night. That's just how men are. Only women want security and to know you're going to be here every day. Men want something new and exciting. They like it when things are up in the air. That's their nature. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, the thought of men spending millions of dollars on her, and I think there was one guy named Charlie who spent like most of that money, really. He sends her like $200 like every hour, like on the dot this entire year. And people were telling him like, well, why don't you just do this? Why don't you just do that? She doesn't even do porn. She doesn't do intercourse. She does solo work, completely clothed, maybe a little tease here and there, but you don't see any genitalia or anything like that. And people are saying, well, porn is free. Why are you paying for this? Yeah, because we already know how men are. Men want something they can't have. And it's not because they respect her more, because she has standards or she knows her worth for not, doing porn on OnlyFans. It's because they want to be, I already said this in my last video when it comes to purity politics. Men don't respect virgins because you have standards. They do it because they want to be the first one to ruin you. They want to taint you. They want to leave you worse than how they found you. They believe you are born good. That's why they say women are born with their value and men have to earn it. So if a woman has a past, it's bad. But if a man has a past, it's good. They feel like you're born perfect and they want to ruin you. And if you allow other men to do that before they get to you, they'll see you as spoiled. It has nothing to do with them respecting you more or thinking that you have standards. So if you're an OnlyFans girl, you're an OnlyFans girl, period. If you a girl he fucked in the first month, you're a girl he fucked in the first month, period. Like, you know what I mean? That's just not how men see it. So all of this, oh, well, don't start an OnlyFans. I'm not saying start an OnlyFans, but if you want to do it. Like, what the fuck? But people are like fear mongering and saying, oh, well, don't do it because you're not going to make as much as Sophie Rain, which totally understandable. Most girls, regardless of what your field is, most people aren't making $40 million a year, period. But when it comes to sex work specifically, she's young, she's white, she has the body shape that's in right now. And she has like that teenage appeal without trying too hard. I don't know if you guys know Belle Delphine. She's like, people hate her in the sex industry. Mia Khalifa and Belle Delphine are not respected because they did like weird shit with minors, and it was just weird. Like some of the shit they did was just weird as fuck. So a lot of people in the sex work industry do not fuck with them. They like girls that are like real feminist or whatever. Being a sex worker, even though I believe being a sex worker is not necessarily a form of empowerment, but it can be. You know what I mean? The same way water is healthy for you, but if you drown, you'll die. Like, nuance, people. Like, come on. But at the same time, it's like, no, you're not going to probably make as much as her because you don't have her appeal. At the end of the day, if you're a black woman, whether you're an exotical or you're unambiguous, and you join the sex work industry, it's going to be like any other industry. Name 2 black models other than Naomi Campbell and Tyra Banks. You can't. Because that's how it is in any industry. Why would it be any different in sex work? And instead of judging the women who are thinking about doing this, why not ask the men why they want to see someone that looks like a child, that's not even really giving them sexual pleasure because she doesn't do porn? It's more like a sneak peek. Most men are voyeurs. Men, if a guy ever liked you or had you be his girlfriend or something, chances are he knew you before you knew him. Chances are he'd been watching you before you even knew he existed, even if you guys went to school or worked together, because men are voyeurs. They ask around, like, they like to watch you, like, in a way where, like, if you like him or something and he's not a weirdo, it's actually kind of cute, like, oh, you were thinking about me, oh, you're so protective. But really, they stalk you like prey, like a tiger in the grass stalking a gazelle. And that's really what it's like. So when it comes to men being voyeurs, they generally will prefer someone who is inaccessible and just out of their reach. Like, ooh, she was jumping and her nipple almost fell out, versus full throttle, here it is. Because with OnlyFans, once you do something, if you're famous, someone can screenshot it, which is illegal because that is your property, which usually you couldn't do anywhere else. If someone is redistributing your OnlyFans property, you can sue them. Anything else, not really, which is why a lot of people prefer it over other things. But if you are famous, someone will screenshot your stuff and put it on Reddit where people don't have to pay for it anymore. And once they see your goods, it's really boring after that. You'll just have to keep doing more and more and more and more to bring people back in. But if you're withdrawn and you literally just did, and someone kept saying, well, she's not even doing porn. Why are they sending her money? What is she doing? What is she doing? She's not doing. She's being. Women don't have to do. We be. Now, there are women that do enjoy full service work and do enjoy doing porn, so this isn't shitting on them or anything. But I noticed when it comes to and I've talked about the hierarchy in my other videos, where if you're a street worker, you don't get as much respect, where if you're like a high class sex worker, maybe you're an escort, you work for an agency, versus the Sophie Rain girl versus Melania Trump, our first lady, who was a porn star, but because she only did soft porn and it was girl on girl, people don't really bring it up anymore. So there's definitely levels to certain things. And if you're a black woman, you really don't get that advantage. For example, Maya Angelou, the writer, the poet, the actress, the genius, she is a sex worker. And that had to be completely removed from her background for people to be able to respect her as the genius that she is. So I don't want to say don't start OnlyFans. She's not going to make as much as Sophie Rain. You don't know what you're going to make. It doesn't have to be OnlyFans. This is just proof that you don't have to sell yourself short to make money, regardless of what field you're in. But for black women, it is different. So yeah, I just wanted to give my opinion on this, guys. I did find it really interesting, and I'm going to be doing more videos on sex work if you guys are interested in it. It is something I find interesting, and it's only because a lot of people judge sex workers, and they do it because they think that it has long life impacting, results and stuff like that. When it comes to being in this industry, once you do it, you're always going to be known for it, which is not always true, because Maya Angelou, most people don't know she's a sex worker. They just know her poems. So it really depends on and I talked about Cherry Chloe. She's a porn star. She was in Euphoria, but most people just know her for her acting role. So if you are a talent and people enjoy your talent outside of sex work, you can be known for something else and still be a sex worker. Don't let people scare you into that. And this isn't to encourage people to do it, but there's plenty of women doing sex work and signing up for it every day, and I just don't want anyone to sell themselves short, especially now with this news coming out. Women are going to be more curious. But yeah, this is just something I wanted to talk about, and I definitely do find it interesting, because the only life-lasting impacts are people being mean If healthcare was free and people were nice, there would be no stigma. There's nothing wrong with being a sex worker versus other than the way people treat you. Police won't believe you if something happens. Men will see you as used goods if they're that type, because a lot of men love hoes. Like, Kanye West literally said he wanted to marry a girl that got fucked on camera. Like, there are plenty of men that are into that. Don't let people think you're not. They're not. Like, that's a thing. Like, no, like, that's a real life thing. And if you're dealing with a guy that has like purity politics, like, oh, my girl gotta have less than 5 bodies, he's either lying to you and he's probably hitting, girls that have way more than that, or he's gay, because it's just not always true. And I'm not saying all men are into that. Most men are vanilla. Most men aren't into crazy sexual things. But yeah, there really is no stigma. If you guys weren't so mean to sex workers and the police and the healthcare industry didn't punish them, there would be nothing wrong with being a sex worker if everyone was just not a fucking asshole. You act like selling coochie gonna make a piano fall out of the sky and hit you in the head. The only thing bad about it is the way people treat you. And if people were kind, it wouldn't be an issue. It's literally a job like anything else. So yeah, that's the part that always gets me. If people were like more chill and healthcare was better and the police did their job, there would be nothing wrong with being a sex worker. It's a job like anything else. Literally. So yeah, that's my personal opinion on that. No sex worker slander will be tolerated on this YouTube channel. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything, let me know, because I know the industry is like crazy, especially like on 304 TikTok right now. There's a lot of stuff going on. I know of this white creator. She works as an agency. She's white girl, blonde hair, blue eyes, and she was basically saying that she believes in legalization instead of decriminalization when it comes to street work based sex work. And I know a girl who, I don't know a person, she's on TikTok, but she's like a black girl. I'm pretty sure she's exotical. She looks mixed, but just because they were going back and forth, she's the black one. Yeah, she doesn't, I think she did do like street work and stuff, but basically she was saying she agrees with decriminalization, which means nobody can get arrested for it, meaning you don't have anything to hide, meaning if something bad happens, you can go to the police and you can go to the doctor and you won't get in trouble. And the white girl was saying, no, just legalize it, because she works at a, they call it like the Bunny Ranch or something. It's basically a place, it's like a legal brothel, and basically she will just get a tax cut if it was legalized, versus if it was decriminalized, no one would ever get in trouble for it, and people could get the help that they need if they're in more vulnerable positions. So there's a lot of stuff going on when it comes to that. Sex work has been entwined with politics and culture and so many different things since the beginning of time, literally before sliced bread. If you know anything about Mary Magdalene and Jesus Christ, you know what I mean. So this topic is never going to go away. Sex work is never going to go away. If you really care about the people in the industry, donate to your nearest outreach program, or just leave it alone. Just ignore it if you don't want to be a part of it. But it's never going anywhere. It's never going to stop. Every day a girl turns 18, and I would rather have safeguards in place to keep people safe than sitting around judging them, asking them why they're doing that, or why are men spending money on this, but you know why. But yeah, that's my personal opinion. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you, and have a beautiful day. Oh, I almost forgot to say, human trafficking and sex work is not the same thing. It will never be the same thing. They are not connected. The same way that you can do, like, for example, if someone murders someone, bad, right? But if you're an assassin hired by the government, and this is literally your job, and you're not doing it out of a crime of passion or anything, you're a soldier, you know what I mean? And you kill someone, that's literally your job. That's the difference between doing something that, is harmful to you and harmful to others, and nobody really consented to that, versus literally just doing your job. Sex work is a job. Human trafficking is the most disgusting thing in the world, and it affects everyone, not just hot girls that you see on Instagram. There are children, there are men, there are transgenders, there are people in other countries who are being taken advantage of as we speak, and no one gives a shit until we bring up OnlyFans girls. So do not confuse human trafficking with sex work. If you care about either people in either situation, put a line between the two and figure out which one you want to help. If you really care about human trafficking and you think it's so bad, volunteer. Do something. If you really think OnlyFans or any type of sex work is really bad and women shouldn't do it, find an outreach program. Donate to a single mother's home. Do something. But complaining on the internet, it just isn't it. It's just not. But yeah, I just wanted to put that in there because a lot of people like to mix up the two, and it helps no one. No one gets help from you confusing human trafficking victims with sex workers. Nobody gets help for that. They just don't. So yeah, I just wanted to add that part. Thank you. And another thing people always say is, oh, you're selling your body. Shawty, don't you sell your body doing anything else? I was watching the Mike Tyson and Logan Paul thing, like the fighting, the boxing thing. And I saw a girl there get like her whole jaw knocked off. And I'm like, girl, how much did they pay you for you to black and bruise your eye? I know people that went to the military, their legs are gone. So what do you mean selling your body? It's just another way to make someone feel like, they're selling themselves short or they don't have respect for themselves, when I would make money anyway and I would have sex anyway. Me doing both at the same time has nothing to do with my respect for myself. You just don't respect me. Everyone sells their body. Even if you work from home, I used to do like a remote job and I'm still dealing with sciatic pain for being on a computer all day. I'm never going to get that back. So you really don't care about people's respect or, their self-esteem. You just want to shit on people. And people pretend to be empaths and act like they care. Oh, sex worker is not empowering. Then what is? Bullying bitches on the internet? Nah, try again. Like, literally, there's so many ways you can help people in this position if you really feel like it's the worst thing someone could do. But bullying them on the internet, telling them you have to have self-respect, what does that do? What does that do? Yeah. Also, sorry for like all the choppiness. This is going to be a re-upload because my audio is messed up. But so some of the parts of the video sound louder than others. That's what it is. But if you enjoyed it, thank you so much. I know this is a touchy topic and it's definitely a lot to digest. So if you learned anything, that's great. Let me know. If there's anything you want to share, please comment it below. And as always, have a beautiful day.